everyone, today I'll be reviewing Lupin Part 2, which dropped a couple of days ago on Netflix. So this review is going to be with some minor spoiler here and there. So I actually loved Part 1. I thought the Part 1 was really very stylish. Like the way this show was started, I thought it was really very stylish, very entertaining, engaging, and especially the center story was very interesting, also very emotional when you look back and think about it, because this young boy, when his dad get sent to jail for the crime he may or may not have done, so when we watched season 1, it was really very emotionally, like you feel emotionally engaged with this show. How about season 2? The way it started, it was also very emotional when you think about it, because his son was kidnapped and he need to rescue his son, and he cannot go to the police because they are corrupted in this, like the season 2 started with that storyline. So the first episode for Lupin Part 2, I thought it was extremely, especially I had so much hope and expectation. The way the first episode started, it was really very slow. We're just following this bad guy and he's just chasing him, and the way the episode ended, I was like, oh really? Because I thought like, oh really, they killed his son off? Oh, it's so awful. So I felt really sad for him in episode 1. But when you go to episode 2, you or maybe 2 or 3, like you find out he isn't dead because some other police he saved him. So I thought the episode 1 and 2, it was a little bit low energy for me. It didn't have the same kind of energy it had in season 1. But when you go to the more episode, like toward the end, how the show wrapped up for part 2, I thought it still was very interesting watch for me, because I really liked part 1. But many people who didn't see, I guess many people will not, people who didn't see part 1, they will not be checking out part 2. But I think many people will also not finish part 2, because it has, as I said, saying, the first 2 episodes is really very slow, like slow paced. Action scene were not that good, but as you move to the later episode, the show did get better. And the last episode, I was like, really? So often when I was watching this show, my biggest problem with this, I had same problem in season 1, but season 1 was very, very high energy, and the location looked amazing. In this season, most of your time you spend in the countryside, which is nice also, exploring with Lupin. But what I didn't like is that often I feel like story was just going between this 3 characters. Like we didn't go to like the bigger picture or anything. And especially the way like everything Lupin get done, to me it feels like very unbelievable and very like easy. Like that's not how very believable when you watch it and you think about it, especially in episode 1 or 2, once again when he escaped, spoiler here, he just asked this inspector to like untie him so he can pee, and somehow that inspector get a handcuff on him, like he handcuffed the inspector. How does that make sense? Because they did not show you, they just show you, oh, it's done, and we're supposed to believe it. I don't know. So many of scenes like that in the show, I found it very unbelievable, and I was like, oh, that's like too much for me to believe. As I was saying, part 1 had many scenes like that. For some reason, because season 2 is so low energy, and I think also budget was a little shrinked here. All the budget for the show went to the episode, toward the end of those episodes. So I would say overall, the budget for this show, I think it wasn't much for part 2. So I don't know if it will be a huge hit on Netflix. I did see it was trending, but it was trending on number 4 or 5. For me, I feel like this is it. I will not be checking out part 3 unfortunately, because I did not like it that much here. It's too unbelievable for me when I was watching this show. That means Lupin's character, the way he escaped the last episode, I was like, really, her just gone. And then often the scene between him and his ex-wife, all those scenes were also not very well. You see why she's so mad at him, but I feel like Lupin, he never take anything seriously, and maybe that is his character. But he's his character, often I feel like his emotion is not deep enough to you feel for him. Like he's just always too easy going back and forth. So So I'll say in season 2, acting was okay. It wasn't great like part 1. Part 1 was more energetic. You feel more pumped up. Part 2 watching, I was like really bored out of my mind. Anyway, that's my thought. I still like the cast for this show. Like Omar Sy, I thought he did really well done for this show. Anyway, that was my thought on this show. Thanks so much for checking this out. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to leave your comment. What do you think about this part 2? And please take care.